If you think I'm riding some one-off motorcycle built in a shed, you would be wrong. Because while this bike shouts custom, it has in fact been built on a production line. This is the latest from Triumph's retro-modern Bonneville range, the Bobber. And already, after just a little bit of riding and a lot of staring, I think it might be my favorite Bonneville. For those of you who are not very familiar with what a bobber is, here's a quick lesson. Bobbers are a type of motorcycle characterized by chopped rear fenders, absent front fenders, minimal bodywork and a hardtail frame. They were initially meant to go fast, but soon evolved into a style statement. Now regulation compelled that this bike have a front fender and a proper rear fender, and concern for backbones necessitated a rear suspension, but that aside, the compromises have been few and far between. Triumph has gone to great lengths to ensure that this bike looks as classic as possible. You have the Bobber type single seat, chunky fat tire, relatively large and skinnier front tire, not to mention the wire spoke wheels, the wide handlebar and the bar end mirrors. But what really impresses are the clever touches that mask modern day necessities. First up, you have that cage type swing arm round the back, which allows the bike to look like a hardtail but actually feature a monoshock hidden under the seat. Then you have fake carburetors that house the injectors, a vintage style battery cover, stainless steel strap and all, as well as those vintage looking tailpipes. Also brilliant is the finishing. The colors, the textures, the finishes, they are all just fantastic, ranging from the brushed steel of the exhaust pipes to the bronze badging on the seat, engine and speedo. But if you think that this is just a show bike, you sir are wrong, because the Bobber, as we will soon discover, can really walk the talk. The Bobber is powered by the same 1200cc liquid-cooled parallel twin as the T120, though the power delivery has been tweaked to provide more bottom and mid-range grunt. And boy does that make a difference. Pushing the power lower really makes this engine feel a lot more like a cruiser's, a feeling further enhanced by the relatively tall gearing. The Bobber gets ride-by-wire throttle that makes the rolling on and off that much smoother. And also great is the slip and assist clutch, which does a great job of lightening the clutch lever while reducing rear wheel clatter during hard downshifting. But where this Bobber really shines is around the corners. Handling is just so neutral and the Bobber feels perfectly happy to dip into corners and stay there. Those grippy Avon Cobra tires also help a lot. This one is a bike that handles way better than you expect it to. Everything about the Bobber must sound really hunky-dory, but there are a few small problems. First up, the brakes. It gets a single front disc as opposed to the T120's twins, and the brake bite is a bit lacking. The stopping power is there, but you really need a full forefinger pull to actually summon it. And then the ride. Bobbers were originally hardtails, and there were times when I thought this one was too, despite that monoshock. The ride is stiff, spine jarring stiff, which is especially problematic given the conditions of our roads. The Bobber is definitely a fantastic bike to ride on straights and around corners, but its seating geometry restricts its use as a long-distance tourer. The foot pegs are very comfortably placed, but the seat, even at its closest setting, is a bit far from the handlebars, forcing you to, be in this hunched over position. It does look cool, but it is definitely not comfortable for long distance runs. On the equipment and features front, the Bobber is loaded to the brim. You get 2 riding modes, ride-by-wire, switchable traction control, ABS, an adjustable seating position, adjustable instrument cluster, hazard lights, and a slip and assist clutch. As I said before, the Bobber is my new favorite of the Bonneville range. It may not be the most practical bike for Indian road conditions, but its style quotient is just way up there. And at Rs 9 lakh ex showroom, it's practically a steal.